Hello, I thought I'd record this outside today. We're going to try kind of giving you some more examples using videos. Got kind of inspired to do this recently. So, kind of our big question is we always want to start with the big question. Are men at our school typically taller than women? So, to answer this, we did a random sample of heights for 30 students who actually took our first week survey. And in those 30 students, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men, and we had 23, looks like 23 women. So I believe we'd want to answer this question. I want to use our 5-number summary that we had before. So the first thing I kind of want to do is look at the 5-number summary for each. Probably the quickest one to do would be for the men because there's only 7. So we'd start off by marking, starting from the smallest, and try to meet at the middle. For this particular example, what you would have is you'd have 3 in the lower half. So this 4th item on the list there would divide the data set into halves. So that means our median here is 68. I'm going to go ahead and type that in. Oops, so that for some reason decided it wanted to move across, so it's 68. And then I'd take the bottom 3 and divide that in half. That would be the 67. And the upper half, those 3 right there, the middle would be 71. Looks like 71. Ooh, it did it again. I have to figure out what's going on there. Okay, and then we round that out with the minimum and the maximum. Okay, so it's 66 for the minimum, and for the maximum, we have, looks like 76. Now doing the same for the women, we'd start with the median. Since there are 23, if we start at each end, where we would actually meet would be at the 12th item. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So it's a 65 right here. Notice that when we actually count the ones on either side, we get 11 and 11. Okay, and then that's the kind of remaining one that's left over. So we would have 65. You know what, did it again. I gotta figure out what's going on with that. So equals to 65. So then we take the bottom 11. Okay, we divide those up. So if we divide that in half, what we would have is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 above, so it'd be that 62. And then for the top 11 that we had, so we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so it'd be 66. Okay, round that out with the minimum and the maximum. So the minimum here is 59. The maximum here is 68. Now with the 5-number summary done, we're going to make our box plot so that we can actually do our comparisons. So the first thing we kind of need to do is we need to decide what our scale is. So we want to make them so we can compare them, so we want to make a scale that goes from the smallest to the largest possible. So if you notice, the shortest person here is this 59-inch person, 4'11" person. The tallest up here is person is 6'4". So over here I have about 11 tick marks, so I think I can go by 2s and still make it. So, just for, start at 58, go to 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, and 78. And notice you might have to try this a few different times to get the right kind of scale, but it's very important to have at least a consistent scale. So I'm going to start off with the females and do their box plot first. So we go to 59 for the minimum. Then I'm going to have 62 for the first quartile, 65, which should be right about there, 66, which would be there, and 68, which would be the maximum. I box up the middle 3, the Q1 to Q3, draw whiskers out to the edges, and there's our box plot for our women. And for the men, we're going to start at 66 because that's the minimum. Okay, then 67, 68, 71, and then all the way out to 76. Okay, and box up those middle, draw whiskers out to the edges. So now looking at these, and I think I'm kind of ready to answer my question, or the question that we had. If you look over here, a typical woman, and I should probably label that woman, and then men. Typical woman has a height between about 62 up to 66, whereas a typical man has a height between 67 to 71. So being that there's very little to no overlap between those two, I think it's fairly easy to say that in this sample, at least for this sample, that the men are shorter than, or men are taller than the women. Okay.